I wanted to ask you the question, what do you know for sure? You know that whole thing when the world is raging, when it is that the storms are there, when things are happening, what do you know for sure? And this is an interesting question generally, but also for me. Because when I was in hospital, when I didn't know my name, I didn't know how to walk. And when it was that they'd ask me my date of birth, I'd have to quickly look at my wrist because it was a good prompter there because it was written there. When I didn't know any of those things, I didn't know what was happening in the outside world, whether or not I actually wanted to be there. There were two things that I knew for sure, and I knew them from the core of my being. So it wasn't something that somebody had told me. It wasn't something that I had read. It actually was coming from the inside. And I knew that God was real and that I was loved. Yeah, those were the two things. And then I thought, right, maybe I need to know lots of other things, because how can you live in a world if that's all you know for sure? And then I've been trying to find other things and I couldn't. And it made me realize that actually just knowing those two things is powerful in itself. And since then, I've gone on to learn some other things that I know for sure. And I'm sure that there are lists that I could do that I know for sure about the people I know. I know for sure in terms of my mission and my calling. I know for sure about X, Y, and Z. And we can probably do the same. But I want to challenge you today to actually write your list of things that you know for sure. And those are things that, like I said, when the storms are raging, in fact, this whole COVID isolation, social distancing thing would have left you with things that you know for sure, irrespective of what else is going on. Write yourself a list, however long that list may be, and then identify your 3 core things, the 3 major things that you know for sure. My 3 are that I know that God is real. I know that I am loved. And my third one, which actually really surprised me because I thought it would be something more about the fact that I'm here to inspire and encourage people. But actually my third is I am enough. That's it. I don't need to have other things to be the best me. I am enough just as I am. And so, yes, unpack you and your thinking and your life for yourself. Because when it is that you can identify the things that you know for sure, then it doesn't matter what's going on. It won't shake you in the same way. It will shake you, obviously we'll be shaken by a challenge or an unforeseen circumstance. But because your roots are grounded in what you know for sure, then it won't break you. You won't fall over. Or if you fall over, you'll get right back up. Because actually it isn't about not falling over. It's about getting back up and not staying there. And so it's the anchor. I think that's a great way of looking at it. If you think about a boat, the anchor keeps them steady in stormy weathers, or keeps them steady when the winds are blowing. So if they drop their anchor, that even though the winds blow, it doesn't take them in the direction of the wind because the anchor is keeping them firm. And so, yes, that's what how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing that what you know for sure, and I'm not talking about those superficial things like today, I know today's Monday and that tomorrow will be Tuesday. Yes, those are things you know for sure. But I'm talking about more in terms of the core of your being that you know for sure. Like you may know that your partner will never let you down. That you may know that that gift that you have is making an impact in the world and that makes a difference every time it is that you show up. It's that whole thing that in the core of you, what do you know? And I think that whole knowing concept or thing is that we often think when we say knowing, we're talking about knowing up here. yes, there is that whole head knowledge and that head knowing, but there's something about the movement of it from your head to your heart that actually changes everything. Because you no longer need to question it. You no longer need to check that it is there or that it's okay. That you know it from the core of you, from the center. It's a bit like the center of the earth, the center, your essence, the bit in the middle that you know that you know that you know. And there is nothing that anybody can say to you that will change your knowing. And I'm not talking about understanding, because when it is that we understand something and somebody brings in a new dimension to it, that can change our understanding. But I'm talking about that knowing, that actually that you have the evidence in you. And I'm not talking about in relation to other people. So there may be some people, and particularly we're talking about the whole racism thing right now. There may be people say that, well, I know that I know that I know. That's not the kind of knowing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about this knowing in relation to you. That you know for you that actually that I can, I can climb that mountain because I know that I can. Because I know that I have that ability, even if it is that it isn't showing up all of the time. You know in the core of you that when it is that comes your way, do you know what? I got this because yes, I can. So yeah, write that list, because the other thing about writing the list is it engages your brain and you start thinking about yourself and your life and the life that you are living and the life that perhaps you'd like to live. You start to think about that in a different way. And these may be tools that are there that have been lying dormant that you haven't accessed in a while or hadn't realized was there. And oh my gosh, that's just so amazing, because that can help you on whatever journey it is that you are on, because you now know that for sure. Like for me, I know, I don't know you, well, some of you I do, but I know for sure that you are awesome. You just perhaps haven't found your flavor yet. I know that there is a gem on the inside of you. It's a diamond, by the way, that just needs to be, the layers to be removed for you to be able to see it, and then some polish on it for it to shine. And that's the stuff that for me, I know that for sure. And you'll probably think, well, how do you know that for sure? You don't know me, you don't know anything about me, you don't know where I've been, you don't know what's going on for me right now. No, but my belief systems is so strong that I believe that all of us are here for a reason and a purpose. Otherwise, why are we here? And that the best is always in front of us, because if it isn't, then we might as well all throw the towel, throw up our hands and give up now. And so the thing that is with you all of the time, that is the vehicle that's going to get you there or take you there, is you. And that once is that you identify that core, that gem, oh my gosh, everything changes. Quite literally, everything changes, because you are no longer apologizing for being you. You are no longer apologizing for either not being there or being there. You're not apologizing for it. And I think that too many of us live our lives as an apology. That because we use the word sorry so often, and it's not necessarily related to a specific something, we're just sorry. And you just think, hold on a minute, if we're constantly saying sorry, are we constantly living in a state of being sorry? So that's the other thing, actually. I want to challenge you to only utilize the word sorry when you've actually done something that you are apologizing for. Other than that, use another word for sorry. I'm remembering that when I used to be out there in the world, that people would, like, moving past you and they would say sorry. They wouldn't say excuse me, they would say sorry. And it's that whole thing that we just use that word as a throwaway word in our language. And I want to challenge you on that too. So today, I want to ask you, or invite you to. That's probably it. I'm inviting you to write your list of the things that you know for sure, and then identify your top 3. That's it. Write your list and identify your top 3. And I said my top 3 is God is real, I am loved, and I am enough. Whatever it is that you're doing today, I'm sending you love from my heart to yours. Make it count and make it awesome.